Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if this isn't your first time watching my videos. Today I'm at work making this video. I'm not at home, but I was like, today it's slow. I don't really have too much going on, so I wanted to come on here and make this video. It will not be as long as the other ones. I'm thinking about, almost tripped up my words. I'm thinking about making shorter videos. I know that some people's attention span is shorter than others, but me personally, I enjoy watching like short, straight to the point videos. But anywho, that's not why I'm on here. I'm excited about today's topic. I kind of briefly mentioned it in the previous video as far as boundaries and really being intentional about the journey that you're on, and specifically my journey that I'm on, practicing celibacy and saving myself until I'm married. My hair is right here for a reason, because I'm covering my organization name is right here on my shirt, and I don't want that in the video. So if you see me keep doing that, that's why. But anywho, I'm excited about discussing boundaries, and I just want to kind of talk about what are boundaries and why they're important. Boundaries are not technically just for physical relationships, right? However, today that's all I'm going to talk about, because talking about all of the different ways boundaries can be applied will have this video very, very long. But boundaries are so important as far as an intimate relationship, or relationship between, two people, you and your potential spouse, or whatever the case may be. And I think the biggest thing, of course, I'm just it's like a conversation, so very, very informal. But the biggest thing, I think that boundaries buckles down to communication, right? Communication is like the beginning of it. If you have to communicate your boundaries prior to getting into a relationship. You can't get into a relationship and then say, this is what I want, these are my boundaries. That needs to be established at the beginning, at the very beginning. So in the getting to know each other phase, maybe after the first date, maybe on the first date, however the case may be. So that way there's a clear understanding of what you have going on, and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, as well as for the other person. Boundaries are not just for you, they are for the other person as well. So I recommend setting boundaries, putting them in place early on, okay? It helps things, so that way if you all do decide to pursue a more serious relationship in the future, you've already been practicing, you've already been respecting and acknowledging the boundaries that have been set in place, okay? And my biggest thing with boundaries is, I'm all for being real with yourself, okay? If you have a friend and your friend is like, she can do this and be fine, and you can't do that, and no, let me rephrase that, because that was a bad example. If you have a friend and, for example, she can go by a guy's house and hang out, maybe watch a show, maybe cook and be good, and not be heightened by anything, or not feel tempted to want to do anything that she'll regret or he'll regret. However, you, on the other hand, you're like, I cannot do that. Like, it's gonna tempt me to do this. Be real with yourself and don't go by this person's house. You can't compare yourself to other people, because you're going to end up falling or giving into whatever temptation, whatever it is that is causing you to want to give into it, right? So what works for them may not work for you. You have to be real with yourself. If you know that, for example, touching you on your waist, and I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, of course, because I'm a woman and I can relate. I'll probably decide. However, men definitely need to establish boundaries just as much as women. There's no women need it more than men. You know, find out what works for you. However, I'm speaking from the women's perspective. So going back to my point, if touching you on your waist or your thigh or a certain part of your body, it does something, it triggers something in you, then you need to create that boundary. You know, maybe it's happened already, or maybe you don't, like you're trying to prevent it from happening. So for example, maybe I went out on a date and he kind of touched your waist to get you, and that did something for you. Communicate that, you know, say, you know, that kind of did something to me. I would prefer if you do this instead, or if you don't do this. That's boundaries, okay? And for me, and for those of you that are watching, boundaries should be non-negotiable. Boundaries, I'm not willing to negotiate this. This is what I'm saying, and this is what I'm sticking to. This is, you know, and if this is not okay for you, or if this is not gonna work, that's fine. But these are my boundaries, and this is what I'm going by. So I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be real with yourself. You have to be intentional about setting these boundaries. You have to follow these boundaries, and you have to respect these boundaries, and you have to not be willing to sway, because once people see that you're being lenient with the boundaries and you're like, oh, maybe she's not really as serious about it as she said she was, they're going to take advantage of that. So if you are not being real with yourself, if you are not living by these boundaries and abiding by them, how can you expect other people to respect your boundaries and to even acknowledge them? So that's my spill on boundaries. Definitely be sure to set boundaries at the beginning of a friendship, at the beginning. If this is someone you're seeing an interest in, definitely set boundaries, even for maybe it's a friend or something. Another thing I just thought about, I know for some people cannot, like, talking on the phone late at night or going to certain places. It's just not, it just does something for them, right? So you just have to, this goes back to my point, you have to be real with yourself and evaluate what triggers you and evaluate what you can do, what you're good with. Me personally, I can go by a guy's house and hang out and chill, and it's cool, you know? But there's certain things that I can't do, and I'm like willing to communicate that and say, I don't feel comfortable with doing that, you know, You don't have to come to him or come to her with a long book or story like, these are my boundaries. These are, you know, you don't have to do that, but be very cool about it and just communicate your boundaries, and people will respect you more when they see you're respecting your boundaries. So thanks for watching this video. We kept it under 10 minutes. That's really, really good. And I plan on talking about another topic that pertains to celibacy, that pertains to boundaries, that pertains to singlehood, relationships, all that stuff. So if you're enjoying these videos, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, comment down below any topics, anything you want me to discuss. So thank you all for watching, and please enjoy the rest of your day.